Okay, folks, this is going to be the beginning of my Marble Hornets Night Marathon, as well as the beginning of my Night Marathon series, which is something I've been doing for a while, but I wanted to finalize it, just crank out a bunch of streams. And there's been a few series I've been meaning to watch, catch back up on, and new stuff that I need to watch, and just get it all out there as far as ARGs and everything like this, Slenderverse and beyond. And everything begins with Marble Hornets. Everything kind of dates back to Marble Hornets. There's a lot of like early ARGs out there. There's like promotion ARGs too. Of course, you have like I Love Bees and stuff for Halo, and you had the Matrix, everything going on with the Matrix. But and you know, there's the Blair Witch and all this. But Marble Hornets really began this sort of wave of anybody can do this, you know, and almost anything can be real, you know, too. And sort of invited people into this dark world, and there's really just been nothing else like it. And I'll talk a lot more about Marble Hornets as it goes on, but I want you guys to know that this is a long journey. They've got the series here, and they've got much, much more as well. Marble Hornets is actually still going on. The comics are being released. And I want to let you guys know that this series is going to be Marble Hornets, and I guess it's going to go into, of course, it's going to have To the Ark as well as part of this. And it's going to have, I guess I'm going to put Clear Lakes 44 on the end of that. It'll lead into the Ekava series, but the Ekava series, I'll have it be its own thing. But, and I'll even try and check out Always Watching the movie there. And of course the comics too, and I want to go over the comics in this. But it all begins right here with Marble Hornets introduction. And this is of course after, on the Something Awful forums, when the Slender Man was first discovered by humanity. And there's nothing else like this. Listen to this audio. I mean, just in the car, moving, the landscape moving by. God, when this first came out, there was nothing else like this. It blew the world away. I mean, this is like, you can feel the dread. It's palpable. And the just like, the mystery, you can feel it. This shot right here is almost a microcosm of the entire series. Ominous, mysterious, and very fleeting. And before you can parse any meaning out of it, it's over. He says, burn the tapes. This is all we know at the beginning of the series. Jay convinced Alex to give him these tapes. He was going to burn them, but he says, just never mention it again. He says, just have them, right? Love that, those towers over there, the trees. Alex moved away, the tape sat alone for a while. Yep, until Jay digs them up. Oh, I gotta start liking these. I'm on one of my alt accounts. I got so many accounts on this fucking website. Summer 2006. And thus begins the mystery of Marble Hornets, folks. This is something that's just absolutely incredible. I mean, there's nothing like this before or since. This is it. This is some of the first glimpses into this world here. Love this shot. Right there. Where it snaps its head around, it looks. Oh my gosh, dude, I remember watching this with my friend in like middle school or like high school. And we were like just shocked, like we wanted to scream, but we couldn't. Like that's how terrified we were of this. And that's the thing, when this came out, it was
I got
real.
home late tonight, and I was taking Rocky for his walk about 20 minutes ago, so around midnight. This was near the set of Marble Hornets. A little bit farther down the road, we saw this really tall guy standing in the middle of the street, just completely still. For whatever reason, this really set off Rocky, and he got really scared. He wouldn't move, and he kept on pulling on his leash to go back home. There was something about this guy that was just, it was strange. So we headed back home. I have a little bit of time left on this tape, and I'm going to go see if he's still hanging around. In fact, I think this is the light that he was standing under. So I'm going to have a look here.
This is back when they were shooting the film, when Alex is first starting to... And some more light will be shed on the backstory too as the series goes on, but...
Okay, you can't really see it well on the camera, but I don't see anyone around here, so I guess he's moved on. But yeah, there's just something about that.
So Marble Hornets came out, it was real. And by that I mean, there was no word from the creators. There was no season 1, season 2, any of this. It was just one entry at a time, like any other account online. And you look up Marble Hornets, there's no official word about it. There's no word of who created it. All there is like fan theories and people trying to crack the codes on the unfiction message boards. I'm 100% serious. And every frame people would go over, edit the frames, recolor the frames, looking for something, turning the contrast up and down, looking for clues, analyzing the audio, trying to crack every code. I'm serious. There's something that's really special about the Slenderverse that spawned out of Marble Hornets, like Tribe 12, Everyman Hybrid, Dark Harvest. You know, these series are amazing, and the stories they tell are so wide in scope and absolutely incredible. And the artistic movement of all of these things coming out at the same time was so powerful. It was like a surging force of creativity. But at the same time, there's nothing like Marble Hornets. And nobody did it like Marble Hornets did it. And it's a dark, dark little corner of the internet. Now this is Alex Crayley's descent into madness here. You can see not only was these tapes were filming his student project, but a lot of these tapes were just him filming himself. Oh yeah, the infamous clip of the park. A rare shot of the Slender Man sort of ducking or running. Very strange. Right there, look at that. That's something you don't see every day. And he turns around, it's gone. It's completely gone. Now, as we get to know the being, obviously I'm going to be saying spoilers in this, you guys. I don't know why you'd be watching this if you haven't already seen Marble Hornets and enjoyed it. I'm going to be going a little bit in depth into the story, but mostly I'm just going to be chilling and watching. I've got my analysis series on Marble Hornets that I'm doing, where I chop it up and I take a look at some of the deeper symbolism and some of the code of the series and of the imagery and stuff like this. But right now I'm just kicking back and watching it, and hanging out with people. But I do want to say, though, of course, as we get to know more about the operator, this is a fantastic scene.
Brian come back and reflect. Later in the movie, this will probably be about 3/4 of the way through.
This will just be by himself, right?
Yeah, I'm thinking about maybe putting in reflect and decide to actually go back to Sarah, try to win her back. And we got a good number of shots here. We have the stream down there.
Area. It's very, I don't know, secluded, I guess. All right.
This is going to be near Sarah's hunting camp. Over there is where we're going to do the bonfire scene. Over by the fire pit.
Yeah.
I also want to have...
And it's so interesting what they did with the distortion as well, because
Sarah and Brian.
this is where, like, the rules for the Slender Man were kind of written. In the original post that Marble Hornets was based on, the Something Awful post, it was just said that, I believe it was said that the camera for some reason couldn't capture the creature's face in photographs, and that it was like mostly linked with children and disappearance of children. Marble Hornets kind of took that into a different direction with the operator, what they call the operator here, and the effect it has on its characters. But this version... This version here, the Marble Hornets version of the Slender Man, is what would come to be known as the Slender Man, as far as its abilities, the teleportation, the static effect that it has on cameras, and its appearance and everything like this as well. And go on to inspire all sorts of things beyond that, you know. In fact, it's amazing what they did with the camera, with the distortion in the video and audio, and how many times it's cliche now because it's been ripped off of Marble Hornets so many times, but the Marble Hornets did it in such a brilliant way. And there is legend and lore of like shadow people interfering with camera and like gray alien and type of beings as well. But it was really never done in this way, to this degree that sometimes it's hidden and sometimes it's a real light. But a lot of times the distortion will, if you pay attention to the speech behavior and the mood of the characters in the scene, when they're static versus there's not static, when there's distortion, you can sense the presence of the operator essentially coming and going if you pay attention. If you sort of learn, that's one of sort of the codes that you have to learn to Marble Hornets, is what the distortion is. And visually and audio, there's a lot of detail in each of the scenes that if you pay attention to the different layers of it, there's actually a lot more going on than what you realize. A lot of times people will watch Marble Hornets and say, what the hell is going on? They know something's going on, but they don't know what's going on. And it's like, yeah, it's because it's layered that thick. And that is just a fantastic shot of him hiding in his home, and the operator's literally out there looking in his windows, walking around his house. It's so fascinating, man, and struck fear into my heart
so look at you.
when I was a kid.
Alright, I'm rolling, and just a second, let me...
I thought you were talking to her.
Oh, crap, I just lost this script. And I'm talking to Brian. Yeah, don't say anything, because the camera picks it up. Alright, you ready?
Yeah. Are you gonna feed me Tim's lines?
Yeah, just a second. action.
I don't know. This town just doesn't feel the same to me anymore. I missed it so much when I was in college. But now that I'm back, I just feel like a depressed teenager all over again. Stuck in a loop of unhappiness.
Maybe you've grown up.
I don't know. Maybe this town has grown up.
Maybe it has. Alright, good.
There it is, folks. It's right back there.
Are we gonna do it again?
I remember when this video first came out,
We're done.
people were
That's
talking
it?
about you could see it back there, and I couldn't. I was looking back there, and I couldn't see it at first, and I was looking and looking, and I found it, and it scared the shit out of me. You know what, and I'll tell you this, too. Now and then, we'll actually get glimpses of them shooting the movie. It's like location scouting, behind-the-scenes stuff, and of course, them actually shooting the student film, Marble Hornets. Did I go to the right one? Did I skip one? Did I skip one? Entry 6, Entry 7, Entry 8, okay. But I'll say this, you know, we do get now and then little clips of actually seeing the movie, you know? And it's like a dumb movie. It's like kind of like a lame movie. You know, the storyline is that he's like going back to his hometown or something like that. He's coming back from college or like in the fall or something like that. Or like, I don't know, something like that. He's either done with college or he's coming back from home or something. And like his love, the girl that he was in love with is like doing something else. Or I don't even know what's going on, but it's like different. He's like sad and moody. But it's lame, has nothing to do with the story of the characters in the Slenderman. But as a microcosm of, like it was a story that was written by Alex. Brian plays Brian and Tim plays Tim. Jay's involved and Alex is involved in all these characters. And they were getting together to make this. That's like the whole preface of the series, is that he's going back through the old Marble Hornets tapes. But the movie itself, like the theme of the movie is a gloomy, doomed, like empty landscape too. Even though it's like a super lame student film, like poorly shot, poorly conceived and written, and like just really cliche and like cringe even, and just lame and dumb. It perfectly encapsulates, I think, the soul of the greater Marble Hornets story, which is, yeah, hopelessness, being caught in a circle of unhappiness, really. And I don't know what's changed. Maybe I've changed. Maybe the town's changed. I don't know, but everything's different, and it's not right, you know what I mean? So that's something that I've learned to appreciate with age, you know, that there is actually some symbology within the story within a story, you know, the real Marble Hornets. And this, of course, is where the symptom of drawing these scribbles, these notes here, which Slender came out, and that is really kind of blew up alongside Marble Hornets. And it was a video game inspired by a lot of the locations in Marble Hornets anyway, so.
Seemed really distant ever since he came back, you know?
And?
I mean, have you talked to him at all?
No.
Well, did he come back because of you? Because he never told me why.
This is a great scene.
Doesn't really matter, does it? He left me when he went off to the city, and that's that.
Yeah, I guess you're right. So, I mean, what's the plan now for you? What's next?
I'm not really gonna do anything.
We're gonna do it again. The pacing still feels weird. It doesn't sound like a conversation. You guys still sound like you're reading off of the script. Let's just have a conversation. Let's do it again.
Still, 8 takes. Still. Good,
Which
go
is
again.
like,
Action. Well, no, we can't. So,
the whole thing about this is like, they're saying, oh, you know, you can see on tape he's becoming more and more irritable and kind of losing his grip on reality, becoming more frustrated because and irritated because basically the operator's starting to get into his head and change his personality. But you know what the reality is? Working in film classes in college, in film school, this is exactly what it is. People will fucking act like this when they need to be the director, and also actors will act like this too, and they'll be making like snide little comments. There's nothing necessarily psychologically unusual about the scenario, but it's a great scene because it's so real. You know, it's so real.
Yeah. That's what happens when you come out of public place.
Good thing I didn't have anything to do later today,
Yeah,
you know.
12 to
Why would you have anything to do anyway? You knew you were coming on set. You knew this could take a while.
Yeah, it was supposed to
Obviously
be an
is.
afternoon shoot, though.
You guys would do it right first
It was
time.
afternoon shoot. I didn't even buy lunch
Let's
for
just
this
do it
shoot.
Let's just do it
Let's just
again.
do it again.
Just stop.
Alright.
Action.
He seemed really distant ever since he came back,
Cut
you know?
from the beginning. What? Roll.
I love this
Did you
line
not
here.
have it recording during the break? I told you to keep the camera recording at all times. Oh, how long was
Come
it?
in here, you press record once.
I forgot for a second.
You forgot. I gave you one job. All you were supposed to do was come in here, set up the camera, make sure it doesn't fall over, and press record once. You don't stop it at all. I made this extremely clear.
If this is gonna go on for a while, can I get a script again?
You're saving time on the tapes.
You helped me load up the
Sir.
car. You know how many tapes we have. If we run out of time on this tape, we'll get another. It's not a problem. I mean, how clear do I have to make it before you listen? I mean, get off. You brought your dog. How many sets is that? Memorize your lines.
It's just a mistake.
Memorize your lines. Maybe we'll get through this a little bit faster.
Memorize your lines. Just don't read them right off the page. You gotta be a little bit more human with it.
Because I've had the script in every scene.
Exactly.
Yeah, you know, act. How about that?
Oh yeah, that's real nice, you know, considering how much you're paying us and everything.
Why would I pay you for what you're giving me? I mean, really.
Oh, that's real nice.
Who else is gonna work with you?
Yeah, that's real nice. That's
Yeah,
real
you already
nice.
spent so much
sorry.
money on tapes, you can't afford actors anyway.
Damn.
Let's just get it done with. Alright? Let's just get it done. I'm sorry. Just don't stop recording. It's not a problem. Plenty of tapes.
Okay, fine. Sorry.
It's a great scene, man. Yeah, it's affecting a man to the point of affecting his personality. And that's to the arc, which is like some sort of external cloud or mist on the fringes of Marble Hornets' story, where there's a character basically in the world, or there's a group, or there's some sort of entity or basic, obviously, you know, if you're watching this, so that there's a channel called To The Arc, basically, that is getting uploaded to. And back in the day, you could have YouTube. They don't have this anymore, but you could make a reply video, and it would be the next video in the queue. And then they didn't have the queue, but they had like the next video in the recommended videos, right? So To The Arc would make videos as replies to some of the entries, and it would be stuff like that, codes like that, and it's always from the perspective of a character in the world. And that's kind of part of the puzzle, is figuring out which video is by what character in the story, but also what they're trying to say, and also why they would want to say that, and who they're talking to. Sometimes they're talking to the audience, or sometimes they're talking to Jay, who's the one who finds the tapes here, or sometimes they're talking to Alex, you know, it could be, you know. And To The Arc is really some of the most brilliant, I think, visually. So the code, for example, in that video was listen, and the audio, if you listen, the audio actually was the audio from the video before it, which was missing audio. So there's all sorts of little connective pieces of like the story. Some of it's happening in the present when Jay's viewing the tapes. Some of it's happening in the past. The atmosphere is unreal. Especially when these were coming out. I mean, it was fun, it was bizarre, and it was scary. Believe it or not. It might seem different to people now, but when this came out, this was like viral. It was like one of the first, if not the first, viral horror things. You know, it was kind of just right at the beginning of the time where creepypasta was starting to manifest out in the web, and it was before the SCP world. And I mean, look at this. Come on, you gotta love this. It's artistic, and it's beautiful, and it's, you know, it's incredible.
I don't know. He'll move. Let's go ahead and get this shot. It's so hot. As long as we have the camera shot, just get set to control it, and we'll be out of here in no time. Are we doing live? Not in this part. We're just walking to the river, and that's when you guys will start picking up. Okay. So, just follow us as we cross into the frame. All right. I hope so. And that's about as far as we're gonna go. We don't want that. That would be gross. Oh, here's Tim. Alright, let's get him off the set. I hope he's not angry at us. Hey, buddy.
What's he doing?
There's a lot of themes of water, too, in a lot of To the Ark videos. And obviously the name To the Ark as well is... And that's really a mystery that runs all throughout of Marble Hornets, is what is the Ark.
Yeah, this one's kind of low.
It began early as well. You paid attention, and so...
Can you get it? Yeah. Okay.
You know, the To the Ark video raises...
I think I left it in the passenger
in
seat.
the first place raises the question,
If
what
not,
is the Ark?
the trunk. Alright. I'm gonna keep on going though, so just... Okay.
And it's a mystery that, you know, a lot of people have their theories and hypotheses about what the Ark is, and there's a lot of good reasonings out there of different sort of interpretations of what the Ark is, but technically, something that to this day is still unsolved, you know, unless the comics or Akava might even shed some more light on the Ark. We'll see about that. That's something that, it's something that, keep that in mind as you're watching through this, and just try to think for yourself, you know. What could the Ark be? What could the Ark mean? Not only what could it be in the story, but also what could that mean for life, you know. So Fantastic shot right here. Like one of the blink and you'll miss it ones. Right there. I remember seeing this on some of these clips on, around the time this was coming out. A lot of people would try to leech clickbait off of it, but they couldn't. It's like people that wanted to do Slenderman get the popularity of the sort of everyman hybrid wave of popularity and Marble Hornets, wave of popularity. But they couldn't do anything, so they would say like top 10 Slenderman sightings. That was one that was on it. I saw on a lot of videos, people had ended it on there. Top 10 real Slenderman sightings, in parentheses, real, So now here's an example of, look, somebody's filming, but this is not filming him in the present. This is filming him in the past when they were shooting Marble Hornets and when those tapes were made. So whoever was filming them in the past, whoever's uploading this now has been stalking them for a long time, since back when they were filming it. And that's something that's not immediately obvious the first or maybe even 10th time you watch it, but then you think about it, you keep watching, you think about it, you say, wait a minute. If you keep track of when it was uploaded versus when it was supposed to be shot, and what part of the tapes that he's on, and sometimes Jay will speak from the present or upload something from the present as he's looking back through these tapes of the past. And now this was crazy. And this inspired memes, but this also, it was because it's so visually iconic and such a striking image. That is insane, because he's filming while he sleeps now. He's so paranoid. He doesn't even know he caught that on film. He just woke up and doesn't know what's going on. Yeah, I think we've all... That's like sort of like a sleep paralysis thing. I think we've all sort of like have had this fear of something standing in our room at night when we're sleeping like that. And now he's changed the tape. So yeah, it's really bizarre. It's really bizarre. Now there's that bleed more. Some of these To The Ark videos are taunting Alex. Some of these videos are speaking to Alex. Some of these videos are speaking to Jay, the uploader. Some of these, I guess I already said this, but some of these videos are speaking to us. And the viewers have actually played a part in the story, not only decoding things, but also...
Hey, Tim.
Oh, hey. Jay, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're a force that...
You ready to do your screen test for this?
I guess so. I mean, it's been quite a while, so you kind of have to get me up to speed, but...
Right, that's fine.
The fact that these videos are online affects the story, too, because the characters
Here's
can
the script for the
all
screen
look
test.
and see
I'll
this.
just be taking some notes.
Alright. Can I write on this, or...?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
It's yours. You can have it.
This is a great character, of course. This is Tim.
Before we do the screen test, I wanted to ask you a few things about the production before now.
Just like locations or something, because I think I remember there was a couple around here, but
more specifically the director, Alex. Alex Crayley, if you remember him.
I don't really remember much. I mean, he was a friend of Brian's, so I didn't really talk to him that much. I mean, he just kind of asked me to be part of the cast for the sake of convenience.
Right. Okay. Did you live near him?
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
like,
I live
relatively
next to.
speaking, I mean, he kind of lives in the middle of nowhere, right?
Well, I mean, I live next to Brian, so I mean, I didn't really live near
Okay.
Alex. He was just kind of off.
Okay. In terms of his directing at the time, how was he as a director?
He was a pretty decent director. Well, at first.
At first.
Yeah, I mean, after a while, he got to the point where, I mean, it seemed like after a while, he got to the point where he would be yelling at us more than he'd actually be filming the movie. So, and he'd just be really paranoid, waving his camera around all over the place. I mean, I just couldn't really.
His camera, other than the camera he was using to shoot the.
Yeah, he had a handheld that he was carrying around with him all over the place.
Okay.
And a ton of tapes too, like
right. He had all the
bags of tapes in the back of his car.
How many would you say you had?
Way more than necessary.
More than you would need to make a production like this?
Yeah.
Just for himself?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So like more than like 15 or 20. Okay. All right.
Jay's being weird and crazy
I don't
here
know if
right
he is or
now.
not, but he did move away after he ended this production.
Do
you know what might have caused him to do that, or even where he might have gone to?
I didn't even know he moved away. I mean, obviously, like I said, Brian's the one that was really friends with him. I just kind of was along for the ride, but...
Would you happen to know where Brian is?
I haven't heard from Brian either.
Okay.
Not for quite a while, actually.
Okay. So you wouldn't know what might have caused Alex to move away?
No. I know Brian did say something about, like, I think somebody was leaving dead animals in, like, his front yard or something. But
Like pets, or do you really know?
What do you mean pets? Like
cats or dogs or anything?
I don't think so.
Because I mean, he did kind of live in a heavily wooded area.
I don't
Like
think there was
wild
anything like
animals or
that.
pets?
But I mean, you have to ask Brian. I'm not really the.
Okay. More about the set of Marble Hornets. Was there anything? I know that most of the places that you filmed this. I mean, there were some indoor, some like interior scenes, but most of it was exterior, like in the woods, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was like parks, and some was just kind of like off in the woods.
Right. I mean, Alex did take me location scouting with him a few times, so
yeah.
I did see a few of the places he was thinking about. But did you happen to notice? I know these are like public places and there were people there, but did you notice anything out of the ordinary about any people, anyone that you saw?
No, I mean, it was just families, kids. Just I mean, you just have to get people off the set on a regular basis. So
okay, anyone that you wouldn't assume would be in a place like that, like a park or anything, like
the Slender Man?
guy in a business suit, like black business suit.
Don't remember. I mean, it was quite a while ago, and there may have
How
been.
does Tim
but
not remember?
It's several years ago, and you're asking me about a guy in a suit. So
Are they trying to insinuate that he's
so you don't
nervous
really
now
remember
because he's
no
grabbing
specifics about
the
anyone you
paper?
had to move
He's like
off the camera?
unconsciously
No,
nervous?
I mean,
or consciously?
it just nothing out of the
Lying.
ordinary.
Okay. Well, I was just wondering, since
Can we-
I have the raw footage of the tapes, but
Yeah. I'm really sorry, but I got to get to lunch after this. Can we go
right.
ahead
I
and
mean,
get-
okay, yeah, that's
yeah.
fine. I'm sorry. We can go ahead and do this real quick. Okay, get the camera set up.
Season 1 has something special, man. I love this going out with a flashlight in the middle of the night. looking for truth, looking for answers. Yeah, so this is volume 1 here. This is, or what some people will call season 1. Part 1 of the marathon series, and I believe this is entry 1 through 26, with the To the Ark responses here. Oh yeah. Just break right in. And the things we do for the Slenderverse, man. Jay's going down a dark road of sneaking around.
Hello?
Messing around.
Alex! Brian!
This is insane, man. This is insane. This is insane, man. Marble Hornets lore, man. Marble Hornets is real, man. Bone. What the fuck? What the fuck? Are you kidding me? What the hell? Yeah, so of course now, and this is one of the reasons why Jay is so obsessed with the mystery, is that obviously he is beginning to come under the influence, too, of this, of the operator, or the Slender Man here, or whatever you'd like to call it. This entity, this force, this being, right? And a good question is, too, to keep out for later in the series is, when did Jay start to experience the sickness, if you will? You know? Keep that in mind, too, as you're watching. It's interesting, it's always for each of the characters, really. It's interesting to try and see when did it start for them. Any of the characters you see that are being affected by the operators, try to think of, like, okay, what happened and when that caused them to fall under its influence, you know? Something to keep an eye out for. Blood. This is insane, this empty house. With blood. And no power. There's just this house with no power, Brian's old house, huh? All of the locations that Marble Hornets takes us to are very empty places. Here we go, he's getting the DXM. Get out of there, get out of there. Bullet casing. It is good to, and I'll talk more about this as the series goes on, but, obviously somebody's watching. They're stalking Jay in the present. They're stalking Jay in the present, too. But obviously we all love solving the mystery, we all love cracking the codes and stuff like this. But it's also important to enjoy the ride. Enjoy these weird locations we go. It's taking us to.
Jay, if you want to just stand where Brian's going to be and read his lines for me.
Yeah, I got the script here.
All right.
Am I out of the frame?
Yeah, you're good. You know where we're starting, Tim?
Why'd you come back?
Yes.
Okay.
And let's just whenever you're ready.
Alright. So why'd you come back?
I had to.
Was it because of Sarah?
I thought I'd be able to leave her behind along with the rest of this town, but I just can't seem to get her out of my head.
I thought you said you were over her.
I thought so too.
That's far
Something
enough.
there? Okay.
Yeah, let's not do too much.
Who wrote that dialogue with you, Alex?
That was just me.
Okay.
I do all the script for this. Do you know where Brian is?
I think you said he was just running down to the store for some snacks or something. He should be back in a minute.
Okay.
Can I get some water or something?
Yeah, is this one yours?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
No problem.
Why are you wearing a jacket?
It's pretty cold in here.
You actually can see it back there.
I feel like you got the AC cranked up or something. You left the camera on.
Oh, well, we're going to go through it a couple more times anyway, but...
Yeah, I love that distortion, man. That's badass. So awesome. A lot of just, like, visually iconic moments, or at least, like, moments that are just really burned into my aesthetic memory. You know what I mean? And that's what we're really here for. I mean, that's what's, to me...
Just wait till we're alone together, and I will tell you something new, something cold, something sleepy, something of seasons and peace and the long, bright curve of space. Banish them, refuse to speak, leave them, go upstairs to your room. I will be waiting for you. I will surround your bed, close the windows. None will ever again be able to enter.
It's just so amazing, man. And that is another reason why I love watching it through, and that's what I'm saying. The reason to watch it all the way through is to enjoy the ride, enjoy the sights and sounds. What is he playing around with? He knows how to get in. Gonna break in again.
Hello? Who's here?
This is a series I always go back to as well when I need to, because it was a part of my like psychological development. It got me at an age where my personality was starting to form, you know? And the things like that, at least to me, I don't know, I always just assumed everybody was like this, but we hold very near and dear to us, right? Here we go. Masky. And it was a big, it's kind of easy to take for granted now, but it was a big question at the time. Big question at the time, who is Masky? You know? Kind of easy to take for granted that was a big people had some serious theories about that, you know? My car off the road. So you can already see here that Jay's going into states of dissociation, derealization. He is obviously Masky here is not themselves. They're not, you know, this is a sort of state of, it's kind of a delirious state, you know, where they're not, yeah, something dangerous is going on, he's regretting ever getting involved with it. This Jay's already having periods of he doesn't know what he's doing and doesn't remember. And hey, it's real, man. Jay's got secrets of his own here. Hmm. Now, he's been recording himself on the hard drive. This is taking place at his home. And this is just such a fantastic, fantastic sequence. And really stood out to me all these years later, like, right here. And that is recording too, so it was like, and obviously they teleported away. So this character that people would start calling Masky, and who technically was uploading videos to totheark at the time, in the story almost seemed like an avatar of the Slender Man, of the operator here, and has taken Jay to this like sort of nowhere space. Look, this is literally like the original Backrooms. He was in some kind of crazy fucking strobe closet with the Slender Man, you know. The DXM, completely empty. He took it all, man. He doesn't remember. Why would he take it? That's funny. That is so funny.
Thanks. No problem.
Thanks.
Why are you wearing a jacket?
It's pretty cold in here.
He has no memory of it at all. So it went back pretty far. He's starting to realize as he's watching these tapes, not only is Alex affected, he was affected, and he doesn't even realize. He's starting to wake up and realize something really dark happened to him. However many months or years ago that they were filming this. Oh yeah, here. This symbol or sigil here. Most people these days call it the operator symbol. Is huge. Huge. Yeah, sometimes in the early episodes here in the first season or the first volume of Marble Hornets, they kind of direct the audience a little bit, make sure they understand what the mystery is or what the clues are, you know, like this. And they realize pretty quickly they don't have to do that with the fans because the people that were into this were so smart. Some anonymous people, you know, in the middle of the night, getting obsessed with the Marble Hornets tapes, you know. We're dedicated to solving this mystery.
Let's see, we'll do a little special featurette here for the DVD.
Yeah, since we're waiting for Tim, who's running kind of late.
Flip the screen over for me. That looks awful.
And they got less, as they went on, kind of got less interested in
Now I want it back.
trying to keep people engaged and just more focused on telling the story.
We're at Marble Hornets here at Brian's house. Brian is somewhere. I don't know where.
I wasn't paying attention. Were you?
No. We've been doing some script revisions for coming up here.
I've been supervising that because I'm the script supervisor.
Yes, Jay has been very helpful today. I'm very proud of him. We're just waiting on Tim to get here. Going to give him the new script, maybe run over some lines.
This new script.
That's a whole lot of power to give someone like him.
Yeah, you know, pretty much everyone's at risk. It's a terrifying place. And there's Tim, so come on in!
Hey, Tim's here already. Yeah, that painting's very interesting, and there's symbolism in that
How you
too.
doing, Tim? Drive alright?
One thing.
Sorry I'm late.
No problem.
Jeez. Why is it so cold in June?
Let's go ahead and start over from I'm tired of this.
Yeah.
The actual
speaking
line.
of, yeah,
Yeah.
well, speaking of what, I'm really tired of this. I really need a break now.
One thing I do want to say, which is not, the painting is not symbolic of, but it's just a kind of a happy coincidence though, is that painting is kind of reminiscent of Slender the Arrival, which is actually connected to Marble Hornets, and I'll talk more about that later too.
You alright, Tim? Need anything?
No, I'm okay.
What's that?
Just some medicine I have to take.
Do you need to go home? Should we cut?
No, I'm fine.
Alright.
Now, Tim's medicine sort of does become an element in the story. Obviously, it's kind of established early on that he takes it as he can sense. I mean, you guys heard the distortion. As the operator's influence is growing heavier and heavier, he's becoming more and more agitated, and he reaches for this medicine, right? Or whatever it is. Every 2D Arc video is so packed, so densely packed with meaning, and it's engaging with its audio and visuals. That's what all media should be. I wish there was like television stations and streaming services that were just full of like 2D Arc level stuff. I guess that's what ECVA is essentially. There are also, of course, all these other things that have taken inspiration from 2D Arc, you know, Local 58, of course, you know, Gemini Entertainment, the Marble Hornets found footage running around in the woods with a flashlight and a camera genre spawned out of Marble Hornets, but also this sort of deeply coded, highly symbolic ARG anonymous analog horror type of genre spawned out of 2D Arc, you know, and it's just so fascinating how they intertwined such novel concepts here, and they really were breaking ground with Marble Hornets when it came out. Ah, yes, the tower. Sees me at the tower. You gotta love the tower, man. You know, I want to go here. I actually know some people that have come out here and come to some of the locations that they shoot Marble Hornets. They've found the locations, tracked them down, and come out here. Be careful. There's also, I mean, I love Dark Harvest 00. One thing that I really love is I Can See the Giant, which is kind of like a lesser known one. I really like the lesser known ones, even though they're usually lesser known for a reason. But there's still an intricate web of crossover in the whole Slenderverse. Marble Hornets crosses into Clear Lakes 44, and that crosses into Akava, of course, and you know, it also crosses into, I mean, they're kind of touchy about it, and I've talked about it before, that they don't really participate in the whole community Slenderverse crossing over in storyline and the sort of more exciting storyline they're telling. They kind of want to be their own isolated little world, their own little bubble over there, because they were the original series and stuff like this. They never really entertained the idea of joining the other series that were working together, collaborating, and crossing their stories over in characters. Because, you know, I mean, they were essentially a copycat series, but it was the whole nature of Marble Hornets involves the individual, involves the viewer, you know. So it's no wonder that all these people were inspired, like Tribe 12, like Dark Harvest, you know. And there are some good ones out there, and there are some bad ones out there, trust me. But I love them all, you know, to some degree.
Led back upstairs.
Good God. just love this pressure here, this tension, being deep underground. Somebody was killed here.
Here's more. Right now. Back away. Mom, let's go.
Oh my god.
Seth is gone. I don't remember what happened. We were the only two left. And I left him.
Damn.
Ryan is gone. Tim, and Jay, and Sarah. Everyone is gone. I just woke up in this house with the tape. Seth's camera is gone. All I can remember from the night is right here. All I can remember at all is on the tape now. I'm leaving this house. I thought I would be safer here by running away, but everything's just gotten worse.
I'm going back to my home, and I'm burning these tapes. All of them.
Wow. That is incredible. So that is where Seth... Alex did something to betray Seth and either leave him to the operator or leave him for dead, essentially. And this red is supposed to sort of insinuate that Seth is part of To the Ark as well. But not necessarily the person in the mask. Which obviously, you guys already know who the person in the mask is. But at the time, we didn't know. That was part of the mystery. And some people were saying, is it Seth? No, it's not Seth, but... Now people are saying, who is Seth? What do we even know about Seth? Well, now it seems like one of the only things we know about him is, well, he's part of To the Ark now too. Alex betrayed him or something. Or basically, left him for dead or something. Did something sick to him. Something gruesome, I would say, probably. some of the questions left unanswered for Marble Hornets are explored in the comics. I believe there's only going to be a very short run of the comics because there's entry 1, 2, and 3, and 3.5, which is the To the Ark comic. But it's going to be a 5-issue thing. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 3.5, 4, and 5. So there's really going to be 6 comics. 5 Marble Hornets comics and 1 To the Ark comic. And the first 4 are out now, which is 1, 2, 3, and 3.5. The To the Ark comic. Those ones are all out now. And they're fantastic. Well, they come out a year apart, or maybe 2. Sometimes, more than a year. Which is okay. I mean, as Marble Hornets got higher and higher quality, it was taking longer and longer for them to upload, but the entries were a lot longer too, and moved the story along a lot further each one too, so, these comics are good if you love Marble Hornets. But they do explore questions that we've had for Marble Hornets that were never answered, but also the comics, I don't want to spoil too much of them, but I will talk about them at least because they are the same story as Marble Hornets. They are another chapter, basically, of a story. They do explore questions that were left lingering, but they also, I want to say this, raise new scenarios, and even some new characters, and some new insights into the nature of this world and the nature of the reality and the nature of what this being even is in the first place and what it truly is. And I'll just say that for now. For now, I'll just say that, but it's just amazing to me, and you know what, I'm grateful for it doesn't move the story along a ton, but what it does is really explores into, and it's not just fan service, it's really just sort of looks at Marble Hornets in a new way. It's for people that love Marble Hornets, for sure. And it's just kind of like another layer deep of meaning into the mysteries of Marble Hornets. And kind of weird having something that felt so real on found footage transcribed to what is obviously like, it's not cartoony, but it's obviously like a drawing, you know. However, it's abstract enough, and there are parts as well late in Marble Hornets that are more somewhat animated from To the Ark. What the fuck? So it's not necessarily a super jarring transition to comic. There's still this grittiness and this sharpness and this like high contrast and visually not out of line with Marble Hornets, you know what I mean? It's like, not like, doesn't strictly adhere to the atmosphere of the show as we know it, but it evolves the story in a way of just like natural evolution, I think. And in a good way. And the ways that it involves a story that are unexpected are good, you know. I'll make a whole video about the comics, and I'll see if I can get away with, like, showing them. What the hell? That is an insane shot. That is an insane shot. That's the last thing the camera ever recorded, yep. Completely fried the camera. He got so close to it that it blew some mechanism, it broke some sort of mechanism in the camera. Yeah, you better not go back to that house. I don't even know why he hangs out there in the first place. I don't want to know the answers anymore. Come on. Yeah, right, Jay. That's the only thing he wants. Now that totheark video was obviously made by Maskey. Oh my gosh, I love this audio. I love this freaking audio. Listen to this. This is so disturbing paired with what happens in the video. I've tried to find a way to recreate this and I don't know how they made this. Look at this. Here we go. Oh my god. That is fucking disturbing. That scared the shit out of me when I was younger. And he gets up, goes out the door, and does not come out the other door. That's where he's in that unknown zone. During that time, I'm serious, the closet, with the flashing light. That hallway, with just a bunch of doors like the Matrix. Yeah, he didn't leave, and he didn't come out the other side of the door. And now, he comes back. Out of nowhere. What the fuck, dude? That's fucking insane, dude. That still gets me, man. That is insane.
We will wait for you no more. Control is being taken away from you. From the start, it's been a game for us. Not anymore. I'm coming for you, and you will lead me to the Ark.
Yeah, heavy themes of delirium. It hits the same kind of nerve as like alien abduction.
On the scene of an apartment fire in County's Shannon has been covering it for us. She joins us
Yeah, I
now
like
with the
this.
latest. Shannon?
Like it's static out.
Behind me, this is the most relaxed we've seen this scene since we've been here. The original firefighters that were here have all left, and they've all been replaced by firefighters from all over, from as far away as we've seen some from as well. But the firefighters do.
I didn't even notice that when I was a kid.
Except for some pets, a few disabled residents were rescued by the police chief and several other people who ran inside to pull them out. Kim is the name of the police chief who we're told rescued about 3 people on his own. He ran inside this burning building to bring the people out. This is home
That was kind of ridiculous.
by a resident. At one point, you can see the flames coming out of a side bedroom, and it's believed that's where the fire started on the 3rd floor. A woman heard fire crackling in her bedroom, and she tried to put it out with a towel, but it grew into this large fire. At one point, the roof collapsed, and that was a dangerous situation for firefighters. Once they started putting water on the flames, there was a lot of smoke, so you could definitely smell this fire before you could see it. Fire officials believe that this building is going to be a total loss. There were 12 apartments in this building, and the Red Cross is here to assist the people who have been displaced.
So his apartment burned down, and he goes on the run. Living hotel to hotel.
Thought about it.
The fringes of society.
Frankly, I've been feeling a lot better. My memory's better. I'm not as paranoid. I'm not looking over my shoulder all the time like I used to be. So I think that this is for the best. So this is going to be the last entry that I'll be posting.
Oh yeah, this is like an epilogue too. And I think I'm going to start the next part with this too, because it kind of leads into the next part. But it's really amazing. This is the first, that was also the first example of, in the Slenderverse, of a door leading somewhere other than where it's supposed to lead. Which has always kind of been a thing. I mean, like the Twilight Zone, and I mean, it's always been a thing, even before that. Like the Twilight Zone intro makes reference to it because it's always been a thing, and like SCP and all this stuff, but it's, I guess, always been a thing, as long as doors have existed. But this was right at the beginning of the age of like cheaper consumer grade handheld camcorders and cheap laptops, and you could actually make it look realistic. Make it feel real for the first time. Watch this. And here we go, what was about to be the finale of Marble Hornet. Ends up being Scully here. And a whole new chapter begins.
So when did this happen?
Wait, what happened?
When did we get a camera? Alex, come on.
We don't have a camera.
Yes, we do.
Where did you find that?
It was in the closet. There's a tape already in it, but when I tried to watch it, it was messed up or something. I don't know.
That's probably just my old camera from college. I probably stuck it back in there when we moved.
How did school shooter Alex Crayley get a cute girlfriend?
But I thought we didn't have a camera.
What? Doesn't matter. I'm gonna sell it. Just please put it back. Stop recording.
Fine, I'm not recording anymore.
You can still see the light.
Are you okay, Alex?
I'm fine. Just put it back, please.
You're in a really odd mood right now. Fine.
Get out right now. What is that? Jump out on the street. Get out
Oh
on the
my
street.
God.
Go. I'm going to be right behind you. Go.
That is some of the best. That is some of the best footage of it. Help. And so yeah, Alex sent that to Jay at his hotel to hotel lifestyle, which is really a motel to motel lifestyle. Living on the run. Staying in the outskirts. And this was the beginning of the big hiatus of Marble Hornets, and this will be the end of part 1. But I'm going to continue onward with Marble Hornets, and of course, with other things as well. Many other things as well, of course. Here at the Unknown Zone, I've been doing all sorts of stuff. So, please share what you guys think. Can't wait to watch more Marble Hornets. And I can't wait to just dig right into the Thunderverse, man. And beyond. And beyond. Stay tuned.